nor the WBA organization opinion on the matter. In fact, the WBA president stated, "It's the contrary. He feels and he believes, just like everyone else, Gervonta taking a knee was a clear knockdown, and it should have been counted as such."
The World Boxing Association has canceled the rematch between GervontaDavis and Lamont Roach after Lamont Roach made another appeal. Talks about the rematch have been paused as the organization is going to reassess the situation and make a final decision. Until then, the rematch will be on hold. A team of 7 boxing officials, including referees, judges, and WBA executives, has been formed to look into the situation and come to a fair conclusion. Meanwhile, both fighters are allowed to move on with other fights.
Who want to fight next?
That's what I'm talking about. That's the question right there. I want to unify at 135. Me and Shakur already talked to each other, and if he's available and we can line it up, that's what we're going to do.
Really? Y'all wait, y'all spoke like this? Yo, let's get this popping.
For sure.
Like
what are you
that.
talking about? If he beats Tank, he's fighting Tank again. Obviously, there's a rematch.
But we talking about past that. We talking past that because you got to give him the option and tell what he gonna do. So you talk personally to Shakur, no managers, whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Personally. He cool.
It's automatically a knockdown. These are the rules of boxing. This is like ABCDs at this point. If you confused, then you either really casual or just a fanboy. This is not up for debate. I mean, Gervonta can have an excuse to why he took a knee.
That should have been a knockdown. I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to bank the rounds. I'm just a little frustrated.
Now, this is the latest update, even though Lamont Roach recently appeared in an interview where he talked about the rematch possibly happening in June or July. Roach told his interviewers that talks for an immediate rematch were moving forward quickly. On a podcast, Roach made it clear that he doesn't want Willis anywhere near the ring next time. He said, "No way, he can't do the next fight. Look at how many times he messed things up, like when the opponent took a knee and went to the corner for help. I'm not saying he cheated, but the coach wiped his face with a towel. That's not allowed. That should be a disqualification. And after taking a knee, he turned his back on the ref. Usually when a fighter does that, the referee stops the fight because it means they don't want to continue."
Judge at the ringside, Eric Marlinski scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of GervontaDavis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scores about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
Roach, S. Request to the New York State Athletic Commission to change the result of the fight was denied. However, both teams confirmed that an immediate rematch was the next step, and reports suggest it could happen at the end of June. Roach said, "I'm telling you right now, I've signed the deal, we're just waiting on the other side." But things quickly changed after Roach's team asked for a further review. Lamont Roach and his team hoped the rematch would still happen, but sadly, their request actually caused a delay. Even though there wasn't much excitement before the March 1st fight between Devon "Tank" Davis and Lamont Roach, it's now the main topic in the boxing world, with everyone talking about it in the days and weeks after it ended.
You're now officially moving up to 35?
I mean, we gonna see. I mean, so I'm gonna be the champ at both weights.
Right.
And if there's no opportunity to unify at 35, I want to unify at 30.
This all goes back to the controversial 9th round of the fight, where Davis took a knee, went to his corner to ask someone to wipe his face with a towel, and then returned to the fight, without any penalty from referee Steve Willis. The fight ended as a majority draw, which has opened the door for a rematch between the two lightweight fighters. After the fight, many fans started saying that Davis, who was expected to beat Roach, was overrated because of how the fight ended. However, very few people could answer this better than Roach, since he spent 12 rounds in the ring with him. On the March 18th episode of the It Is What It Is podcast, Roach spoke about whether he believes Davis is overrated.
Nas, you got anything else from Lamont?
Yo, last question. I just want to know,
How has your life changed since the fight, man? You know, obviously we follow each other on social media. I see your followers went up, all of the other stuff kind of going up. How has things changed for you since the fight has happened?
Bruh, literally overnight, it changed. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I got walk around with security. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I walk around with my peoples. Like, it's crazy. I can't do the same stuff that I used to.
I definitely want people to know that Davis was at his best that night. I'm telling you that 100%, Roach said. Just because he didn't meet expectations doesn't mean he fought a bad fight. People are saying he's trash and overrated, but he's a good fighter. When I was in the ring, I kept thinking, I have to stay sharp. That didn't take anything away from him, and that's why the fight was so good. He added that both Davis and Roach should have the chance to prove who the better fighter is when they rematch later this year.
Can't go to the grocery store. I can't go nowhere, bro. Like, I can't do nothing. And it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy because I know that that's what this come with if I get to the level that I'm supposed to be. But when it really happened to you, like, you sit back and look at it like, damn, like, this really happened.
The story around undefeated world boxing. Association lightweight champion Gervonta Tank. Davis has changed a lot since his March 1st fight against Lamont Roach Jr., which ended in a majority draw. Many people believe Roach did enough to win and give Davis his first professional loss. However, when you consider that Davis wasn't penalized for taking a knee in the 9th round, which should have been scored 10-8 for Roach instead of 10-9 for Davis, it's clear that Davis may have gotten an unfair result.
Truthfully speaking, it wasn't really hard to focus. I've been an underdog before, obviously not a huge underdog, but when you go back to the Jamel fight, world title fight, I was an underdog. When you go back to the Hector fight, I was an underdog. Very disrespectful underdog, honestly. So now when we get here to the Tank fight, it's just like, all right, here we go again. I feel like when my back is against the wall or against the ropes, it's like...
Davis entered the fight as a huge favorite. Many people also believe he is one of the hardest punchers in the sport, pound for pound, and that he would easily find Roach's chin and end the fight early. Of course, that didn't happen. Now that the fight is over, fans are wondering if Davis has been overrated and if he was exposed by Roach. Newly crowned WBO lightweight champion Keyshawn Davis, who has a 13-0 record with 9 knockouts and is not related to GervontaDavis, hopes to fight the winner of the Tank vs. Roach rematch. He directly addressed whether Roach exposed Davis during a recent appearance on the Porterway podcast.
The fight that they had was a phenomenal fight. That joint was like one of the fights, I feel like could be one of the fights of the year. Yeah. High level, skill level, 2 boxers in there, but still trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? And I understand a fight like that because I fight how they was fighting. I just feel like I do a better job at it.
Okay.
I don't think Tank got exposed, Keyshawn Davis said about Tank. I just think Lamont was better than everyone expected him to be. Lamont can really fight. I even thought Tank would knock him out, but Lamont proved me wrong. Lamont is better than we thought, but I don't think Tank got exposed or anything like that. He also gave credit to Lamont Roach for not attacking Tank when he was down, unlike many other people in the boxing community.
That is number 3 for me. That's how I feel.
Sauce Walker was just here the other day.
Yeah.
I asked him what he thought about the fight. He's a huge boxing fan, you know that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Huge boxing fan. He knows how to box too. He knows how to throw his hands.
He showed me some videos.
Yeah, he said,
I
want
to see that. Yeah.
I said, what do you think happened? He said, he said, Roach won convincingly.
Yeah.
He said he said, I don't care about the knee. He goes, but I'm gonna tell you what, if I were Roach, I ain't doing it.
People believe that Gervonta Tank Davis is not the same fighter he was a few fights ago. Oscar De La Hoya made a comment showing the drop in performance of the southpaw from Baltimore. De La Hoya was interviewed by and at one point talked about the undefeated WBC interim lightweight champion, William Zepeda. Zepeda won the interim title after defeating Tevin Farmer in 2024 and is preparing for a rematch on March 29th. Golden Boy thinks that once Zepeda's fight with Farmer is over, the Mexican boxer could face Shakur Stevenson and then have a title unification fight against Tank, especially since Tank's rematch with Lamont Roach is uncertain. Shakur is a tough man to beat, but not impossible. His style is very complex, said De La Hoya.
Who won Tank or Lamont?
This is my opinion.
Sure.
It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses the decision, or I think a draw was meant to be. So I like the draw.
He took the chance to send a strong message to Davis, saying that if Tank shows the same performance he did against Roach, the WBC champion would not give him a second of peace in the ring. This is how one fight seems to have shifted the situation in favor of Sugar, should a fight against Davis happen. Devon Tank Davis is not in his best moment right now, as his draw with Lamont Roach Jr. earlier this month seems to have left him in a vulnerable position. After that result, Davis, who had previously refused to fight Shakur Stevenson by avoiding or ignoring him, now seems much more open to a fight with the WBC lightweight champion.
Was that a good call on the ref? No, if you take a knee, man, if you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking a point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. The referee with the eyes,
Before that, Tank wants to finalize the rematch against Roach as soon as possible. With a questionable performance against Roach, Gervonta Tank Davis took the first mark on his professional record, settling for an unpopular draw on Saturday night at Barclays Center. One judge scored the fight for Davis at 115-113, while the other two scored at 114-114, resulting in a majority draw. The crowd, which was reported to be 19,250 people, loudly booed the decision.
I could have stopped him. It's me. Definitely my fault.
With the draw, Davis, 31, kept his World Boxing Association lightweight title, while Roach, 23-1, gained a lot of respect, even though he didn't become a two-division champion that night. I'm a little disappointed with the decision. I thought I won, said Roach, whose WBA junior lightweight title wasn't on the line. That's what two skilled fighters do, go in there and show off their skills. Lamont Roach definitely believed he won, but he's ready for a rematch. Davis also thought he should have won, feeling he took the last 3 rounds for sure. Sadly, the result told a different story.
Enough to get the victory over a spectacular fighter. I told y'all from the beginning, man, that
Davis felt he was landing some clean shots and breaking Roach down as the rounds went on. However, Roach kept coming forward, so Davis didn't want to make any mistakes and stayed cautious. According to CompuBox stats, Roach outworked Davis over the 12 rounds. Roach landed 112 of 400 total punches, while Davis landed 103 of his 279 attempts. Davis had a slight edge in power punches, landing 93 of 210 attempts, while Roach landed 87 of 252 attempts. The most important moment of the fight wasn't a punch, but a decision by referee Steve Willis. Seconds into round 7, Davis took a knee after taking a jab from Roach. Then he ran to his corner to have a cornerman wipe his face. Davis later explained that this was because chemicals from his hair were dripping into his face.
You know what I mean? You live and you learn. I definitely could have. That was on me, too. That was on me for sure. Because I ain't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up. And
Willis started to count a knockdown, reaching 2 before changing his mind and letting Davis be illegally helped by his cornerman. Had Willis correctly called it a knockdown or penalized Davis's corner for interfering in the middle of the round, the judges could have scored the round 10-8 in Roach's favor, giving the underdog the victory. It should have been a knockdown, Roach said. If that was a knockdown, I would have won the fight. Davis explained that grease got in his eye, but Roach pointed out that if he took a knee and the referee started counting, it should have been called a knockdown. Davis's explanation seemed to upset the crowd even more, and they booed him again. It's all cool, Davis said.
And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate true boxing media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won.
Adding to the fact that fans can be very changeable with their support, they love you. Then they hate you, then they love you again, said Terence Crawford, one of the boxing personalities who commented on the fight. He felt that Roach was robbed of a deserved victory. I've never seen someone take a knee and not have it counted as a knockdown, Crawford posted on social media. It was clear from the beginning that both fighters, who had fought each other twice as young amateurs, had a lot of respect for one another. Neither wanted to take any chances and walk into a counterpunch. Davis, 30, from Baltimore, started to increase his activity slightly in the second round using 1-2 counters, while Roach kept his steady, disciplined pressure. This made Davis work hard but didn't give him many opportunities to counter.
Could have definitely did more. Definitely did more. Just a lot going on. But again, it was my...
Roach made his first big move in the fight in the third round, landing punches with both hands to the body before landing a right hand around Davis's guard. Davis stepped up his work rate in the fourth round, throwing 1-2 combinations to try to get Roach to take more risks. Davis's best move in the round came when he shoulder-butted Roach, which led to Roach retaliating with a right hand to the face. Referee Willis warned Roach for the foul, even though it was Davis who committed it.
I won, and I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
All right, guys, raise your hand. We'll get you a mic, so try to be patient because we will try to get to you.
Hey, Lamont, over here.
What's up?
Yo, what's up?
Hey. In the fifth round, both fighters increased the intensity. Davis started landing double left hands, while Roach backed away from exchanges. Anyone who doubted whether Roach could be a serious threat to win the fight would have been convinced by the seventh round. In that round, Roach seemed to hurt Davis, with a counter right hand that landed awkwardly on the right side of Davis's face as he tried to turn away from the punch. Roach wobbled Davis for a moment, but Davis stayed disciplined in his approach, remembering how many fighters had been knocked out by Davis when they tried to take advantage. Roach continued to have success in the eighth round as both fighters exchanged their power hands. Roach's right hand did more damage than Davis's left hand.
But you gotta go to the gym and, get back to the drawing board and, train a little harder.